Hello everyone, it's me again, and today we will talk about the work that one of analysts sent to me after publishing my video where I do a review of my old work. So I'm really happy that someone saw this video and wanted to share his work with me, and I really appreciate that. And I hope that also, if you are an analyst and you're watching this video, or you would like to be an analyst, you would like to share your work with me to get feedback, because I think that helping others at the start of the journey is really important. So yeah, as I said, I really appreciate that, and today we'll talk about this work. I will also show some things that I think should be changed. But yeah, we can start. So there we have a main page. So uh, we have to be like honest. It doesn't look really good. So we have just multi-OPGG. I think it's a multi-OPGG of their accounts, so accounts of these players. So for example, if he has more than only one account, then you're just putting the multi-OPGG. So I think it's pretty good. Like when it comes to the like info, but when it comes to the like visual part of this page, it doesn't look really good. But I think it's like not really important. So you can add it or not, because you can also include this in the solo queue tab, which is here. So I think that if you would like to make page like that, you can use like you can check my last video where I do review of my old work, and you can just like make something similar to this. So yeah, I think that there's not more talking about this page, so we can move on to the next one. So yeah, this is solo queue champion pool. So I think, like, I'm pretty sure that it's solo queue from like a whole season, and I think it's not really good because at the start of the season, where we have like patch first patch, like meta is totally different at like you know there's first patch, and there's, for example, patch, I don't know, 12.15, and like meta is totally different. So I think that, like, the best option when you add solo queue like that is to like separate the solo queue from, I don't know, last patch or the last 7 to 10 days, and separate solo queue overall. So that's what we have this. So that's what I recommend to change, is to, as I said, separate the solo queues, solo queue. So add solo queue from last patch or last 7 to 10 days, and then add the overall solo queue. But I think the most important for the coach will be anyway solo queue from last 7 to 10 days. When it comes to the like visual point of the visual part of this page, I think that when it comes to win rate, I would recommend the colors where is up than 50%, just go green, where is equal to 50%, go yellow, and when it's below 50%, just go red. So I think that it's like the best option to add, because there you can easily look which champions he has good win rate on, and which champions he has bad win rate on. So I think it's also pretty important. But for me, the best way to like present solo queue is to just do this in one page. So it's in one page, but there is like the other account. So yeah, it's pretty good that you also include this. Um, I have Canary in my room, so like he can sing sometimes, as he's doing right now. But anyway, I think that I said almost everything what I think about this page, so we can move on to the next one. So it's competitive champion pool, and I think that like adding only screenshots from Wikipedia is not the best way you can do. Because basically it doesn't look really good. And for example, if you do this for I don't know, for the team or for the coach, at this level, so second Greece League it's and like it's whatever what you do basically for me. Like the most important is to just have any info about the enemies. So yeah, and basically on that level you should mostly focus on like individual players. So for example, like what they play the most, like the really simple things, because you can't really look for the pattern of the team if you're on this level, because like I think that most of teams in, I don't know, second Greece League or in like same level as this are not playing with any pattern. They're just playing like because they are a team and they're trying to make some team fights or things like that. So adding this, it's whatever. If you know that you would not like to uh like improve or something like that, but basically for me, if you would like to improve yourself as an analyst and I don't know, as a coach, maybe you do scoutings because you don't have an analyst, and you have to do this by yourself. So for me, then it's good. But if you're an analyst and you would like to get on a higher level, so for example you would like to join an ERL team, you should change it. So for example, like the best way is to automize it, and I think it's really simple. Like basically previously I was thinking that automizing some things, so for example like official picks, is hard, but it was only because of me being lazy. And when I like paid some attention to this, I did it, I don't know, in a 1 hour maybe. So like if I can do this, everyone can do this. So like just make a tab which looks clean, which has the most important information. So I think games, wins, and maybe win ratio, uh, and just try to make it clean. Try to compare compress the informations to the one page. And for example, if you do something like that, so uh, you're putting the stats from like a whole year, as I see. I think it's not most. I think it's not the best way to do this. So, for example, I think that you should maybe just add the official picks from the tournament you play, and then when you have solo queue already, and then you have his competitive champion pool, you can make like some conclusions about his overall champion pool, and then it's helpful. But you know, for example, here, uh, or not, because it's like, okay, I can't see an example here, but for example, you played Winter Split, and you add stats from summer, and like it's just example, and like meta is totally different in a Winter Split, so then this informations are not really useful. So as I said, at this point, and just to make a summary of this tab, I would recommend to first, like at first, to try to make clean, good-looking tabs. with all players, with official picks from tournaments you play, and then try to automize it. And as I said, it's not really hard to do. So yeah, it's just summary what you should do when it comes to this point. We can move to the drafts, okay? And it's like it's almost exactly the same situation as here. So as I said, on this level, and I'm pretty sure that this work, like it's, I mean, I think that it's one of the first works of the guy that did it. Shut up. So for me, it's not really important at this level, as I said. But if you would like to improve yourself as an analyst, I think that you should also try to make tabs with the drafts, because they just look cleaner, and they're like they're just good looking. And there you like look. So for example, there you have drafts from day 2. If you would like to see drafts from day 3, you have to go down. But it's like not an exactly draft, but just champions that they played. So you have to scroll. Oh my god! You have to scroll to the 380 to see all the drafts, and it's totally stupid for me. Because for example, you can just make a tabs where you put this there, this there, this there, this there, like with the drafts. Or I don't know, just rewrite it to the tabs you could make. You could make, but I have another example you can use. So for example, it's that's what Wikipedia do. So when you go to the pick and bans, and to the like specific weeks, you can just see like the drafts. And for example, we can make a screenshot and see. Okay, it's there. Oh, I can, because I have only like I can only look at this, so I don't have permission to edit it. But maybe this or yeah. So for example, we have a draft here. Like it's a easiest way you can do if you work for the team at this level and you anyway would like to make it good looking. So there you add first draft, there you add second draft, there you add third draft, fourth, 5, and you have almost like all drafts in one page. So this is a better way for me, but I think that not like when it comes to this tournament, I think that you can't follow stats on Wikipedia as fast as you need. So just adding this, it was the easiest way to do this. But yeah, so just to make a summary of this point, I would recommend to make a tab. So for example, something like that. It's just an example of the work that you can like. It's just an example of a draft template which you can add to your work. There is a lot of more, and you have to choose which one is the best for you. So basically, that's it. When it comes to draft patterns, I think that like like I'm not pretty sure what you mean by adding this. But it's good that you add which champion was picked in this phase. So I think it's pretty good when it comes to the information part. But you should for me, it's hard to tell anything about this page for me, because I'm not pretty sure what you wanted to show here. But for example, what I was doing is that I was doing a tab, and I had B1, B2, B3, B4, B5, and there was top, jungle, mid, AD carry, and support, and I was adding by percent how many times this role was picked in this phase, in this phase, in this phase. So for example, they were first picking top laner in, I don't know, 10 on 13 games. So I think that it's good way to show that's what you meant here. But I think that if you worked with some coach or anyone other, he wanted what you mean here. So yeah, that's basically all I could show, but I don't have any example of that what I mean here. So I can just post on Twitter what I meant here about this drafting percent, because I called it drafting percent. I think that we can just move to the level 1. So when it comes to level 1, what I see at first, I think that adding the enemy's setup is also important, because you can look how they were setuping to, like, for example, specific matchups. So for example, enemy team had potential to do late invade, or to do some moves on a river level 1, or to set up deep vision in the jungle. So then you can also like draw conclusions about how they are how they are setting up to different situations. So for example, how they are setting up to enemies who has potential to do late invade, how they were setting up to I don't know, when enemies had some hard CC level 1, something like that. So I think that I mean, hard to see. You know, it's like almost same situation as the invade. So yeah, but then you can draw conclusions that can help your team to predict their moves. So for example, you have team meeting. Like imagine you have team meeting, and you're making draft scenarios, and your team is, for example, thinking like you made 3 draft scenarios, and in 3 draft scenarios you have like potential to do invade, and you would like to know how they are setting up to the invade on level 1, and you don't know because you can't see like enemies, and you can't you don't know did they have did they have like good potential to make an invade. So that's what I think you should add here. Like adding wards is also pretty nice, but I think that you should also put a timer here for me. But you can for example separate, like for example level 1 cover and level 1 vision. And for example, what you can add is level 1 specific moves. So for example, you make a tap or make a slide where you add only level 1s when they were doing something proactive, when they were doing something unusual. So it can also help your team, because then after draft they can be well prepared for potential moves. So for example, they were, I don't know, invading when in this specific situation, and you see this situation in the draft already, and you say to your teammates, hey, just be careful on a late invade, because they were doing it, for example, in a situation similar to this. So I think it's pretty important here. When it comes to the visual part of this, nothing special here. It's just in level 1. But I think that adding timer, like the link to votes, is also pretty good, because some players just want to see a video and then they can like know better what they think about it. For me, but it comes to you. It's up to you. So yeah. Okay, and go to the jungle pathing, and it's. I mean, there's a lot of better ways to do this. So for example, there is wait, there is a web page which is called Vote Tactic, something like that. So there you can, I think, make pretty nice maps of the jungle pathings, because I think it was made in Paint. What is important here is to like add the timer when he ends pathing. And like, for example, what is he doing after this pathing? So for example, he ended pathing on blue buff. He was pathing from top to bot. He ended in, I don't know, 315, and what he did then. So did he just recall? Did he, I don't know, went on bot? How situation was? How was the situation with the waves? So what was the situation with the wave on top lane? What was the situation with a wave on mid? What was the situation with a wave on bot? And then you can draw in conclusions why he did it. So for example, if he saw gank potential on bot and you see that his teammates were playing to like give him opportunity to gank, for example, or to cover potential gank from enemy, you should add it. Maybe he's getting into enemy vision, into enemy jungle, and maybe he's setuping some deep vision here. Maybe he's recalling in some specific place where you can catch him. Like this is pretty important informations, and you will not know about them if you don't add end timer of the pathing. So yeah, it can really help your team with this point. I think good thing here is that you like that you're given some the description of the situation, like that you describe the situation. So yeah, there you can like this is pretty good, but how you will use it, it's different thing. Also, I think important is because you add only like a pathing of the specific champion, but for me you should add like a whole, like all champions, so then you can imagine how matchups could look like and why he was pathing like that. So for example, he knew that they're winning 3 versus 3 on bot because of some reasons, and then you see, for example, why he was pathing like that, and then you can draw conclusions. So for example, then you can draw conclusion, for example, if he know that they're winning 3 versus 3 on bot, he's pathing to the bot to cover potential gank from the enemy, to gank your bot lane. So for example, if he has a good setup to gank on top, you see this because you just added the champions here, and you don't have to come back to the drafts and then see what is going on and then come back to the jungle pathings. So yeah, this is basically all when it comes to this work. That there is also objectives, but it's just like, you know, the list of was taken, was contested, etc, etc. So yeah, I don't know how you use that, so I can't really tell you my opinion about it. And there was like another work where is draft scenarios as well. So but it's almost the same as here. So I think that this is basically all. I hope you you after watching that you can like improve your works, and if you have any questions, like I'm telling to the person who sent it me this right now. If you have any questions, just feel free to ask me on DM on Twitter. And as I said, if you're a beginner analyst, or you would like to be an analyst but you don't know is your work good or not, you can just share it with me, and then we can talk about it, and I can tell my opinion to you about your work, what you can add, what you can change. And I just really appreciate that someone trusted me and wanted to share work with me. So that's it. I will end right now. So thank you for watching, and see you next time, I hope.